Back to the daily grind, and y'all know we gotta talk about this. But before we do, make sure you hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
And we're back to betting on the fights with fake money. We did not have the greatest week, but first, if you're new here, what we're doing is we started off with $500 23 weeks ago, and we've just been going through and betting on the Bellator and UFC fights every week and keeping up to date with the bankroll. We've never hit zero, but we have been up to, I believe, $1,200. We started off this week at $923, as you can see, and we only bet on 2 fights. There was only 4 fights on the Fox Sports main card, and I don't believe there were Bellator fights this week, so not much fights to bet on. So that's why we upped the ante a little bit. I probably wouldn't have bet that much, as I explained in the last episode, but hey, it is what it is, man. We gotta make this stuff fun, and it's fake money, so if you lose, you don't lose anything, and if you win big. So with that being said, let's get right into this. Last week, as you can see, it was Jeremy Stephens versus Josh Emmett in the main event of UFC Orlando. We only bet on 2 of the fights. We did not bet on Mike Perry or Jessica Andrade. Thankfully, we didn't bet on Mike Perry. He lost his fight, and we predicted him to win, but he was a pretty big favorite. So probably should have took the bet on Max Griffin. That's one thing I have a problem with. I don't like betting against fighters that I root for, or that what I'm saying. Like, I'm a Mike Perry fan, and so I kind of like, man, if I'm a fan of someone, I don't want to bet against him. So that I gotta change that, because that was actually a really good value on Max Griffin. Mike Perry, hindsight's 2020 clearly, but we had seen him beat twice in the UFC, and both times there was kind of telling signs that Mike Perry's not the most well-rounded fighter on earth. He's a heavy-handed fan favorite, more of a knockout artist. So anybody that can put together a smart game plan or just watch tape will probably have some success against Mike Perry. So if Mike Perry ever comes in as a favorite this big, and it's not a super short notice fight, probably some value on the other guy. So we could have bet $100 on Max Griffin and won like 300. We wouldn't have had no problem, but hey, we messed up. We'll keep that in mind for the future. So with that being said, we did bet on Ovince St. Preux versus Ilir Latifi. That fight was a coin flip, could have went either way, and Ilir Latifi won that coin flip, landed 2 big left hooks, and then ended up getting Ovince St. Preux in that choke, and the ref didn't see the tap out. Ovince St. Preux ended up going to sleep. That is who we predicted to win and bet $73.07 on. So we lost that. We don't get that back. Jessica Andrade versus Tecia Torres. We did not bet on that fight. Jessica Andrade was a pretty heavy favorite, and she actually won the fight. So nothing, as far as the fake money bankroll is concerned, happened there. Then in the main event, of course, we picked Josh Emmett to win, even though we were rooting for Jeremy Stephens. And Jeremy Stephens actually came through and got the W, so that's kind of good. We kind of wanted Jeremy Stephens to get a W in this fight. We want to see him get a title shot. And Josh Emmett, a newcomer, new into the top 5, he still showed he deserves to be in the top 5, in my opinion. Josh Emmett just got caught, at the end of one of Jeremy Stephens' very heavy hands. But Jeremy Stephens, another heavy-handed fan favorite, coming in there to entertain and knock guys out, knock guys stiff, came in there, and that's exactly what he did. Now, there were a couple possibly illegal blows, but not worthy of overturning the decision. I don't believe they didn't start off the finish. Jeremy Stephens landed legal shots that took, Josh Emmett down. Then he started landing a couple elbows. Then, of course, that questionable knee. But hey, it is what it is. We lost that. We lose $150. And as I said, I didn't want to bet $150 on that fight. But we were coming off of a good week. We had just won money, and it was like, well, we're only betting on 2 fights this week. Let's make it interesting. But I really wasn't as confident. Ovince St. Preux, I called that fight a coin flip, in the predictions and the bankroll series. But still, $73. Would you bet $73 on a coin flip? That's just, what I'm saying. But we did that there, and then the main event was essentially also a coin flip. But it was the main event, and yeah, 150 on Josh Emmett, that wasn't the wisest idea, even though he looked really good in the fight. And honestly, if you're talking about overall, he's not as experienced. He looked really good in the fight. And then if you want to argue the controversial strikes, I'm just saying, if they were to rematch, I would like to see a rematch, but it's probably not going to happen. Jeremy Stephens just looking forward to the title, but hey, it is what it is. With that being said, we lost both of our bets. There was only 2 bets we placed, $223.07 total, which takes us down to $700, which we'll have to place bets with this week, as you can see. So we won zero bucks. Add that on. We're back at $700 to place bets with for this week's fights, which is going to be UFC 222 Cyborg versus Kunitskaya. Now, I could have bet no money on these fights because literally every person we predicted to win is a little bit of a favorite except for Sean O'Malley, and then Cris Cyborg, she's just so much of a favorite. It's not even worth betting. Like, you bet 500 bucks on Cris Cyborg and you might win, like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Nothing. Like, it's just not even worth it to bet money on Cris Cyborg. So unless you think Kunitskaya is going to get the upset, maybe you could throw some money there, but I don't think that's a very live underdog. So with that being said, since I was like, man, am I just going to bet nothing this week? What kind of fucking fake money bankroll series would that be? I mean, what kind of try hard would I be if I didn't like any bets? So it was like, you know what? I'm just going to put 50 on every fight, you know what I'm saying, that's not the main event, because nobody's a 2-to-1 underdog, or no, you know, so it's not like we would be losing too much money. We still have some money to win if our predictions are right. So we're just hoping our predictions are right here, and if they are, we'll get a little bit of money. Now you might be thinking, well, you know, I'm a huge Sean O'Malley fan and he's the only actual underdog. Normally that might tempt me to like go up $100 or something, you know, and I kind of want to bet 100 on Sean O'Malley, but I'm just fucking I'm kind of sick. I'm not sick to my stomach, but I just feel, you know, I'm getting a weird feeling coming into this fight. You guys know I'm a huge Sean O'Malley fan and I want him to win this fight, but Andre Sukumtov ain't just a fucking, you know, a guy that's, it's not like the UFC is giving Sean O'Malley a easy fight by any means. You can see the odds makers have Sukumtov as actually the favorite. Now mix that with Sean O'Malley's fighting style, hands kind of down sometimes, and I've seen Andre Sukumtov knock down, who was it, I believe Albert Morales, 3 times, 3 straight knockdowns with jabs in the same fight, knocked him down with jabs. So Sean O'Malley, the way he keeps his hands down, you know, I want to be biased, but I just can't convince myself to go against my own logic. Like, oh man, Sean O'Malley's just, you know, gonna win just because I want him to. So that's why I'm not going up $100, because I just realized that Andre Sukumtov could win this fight. He's even the favorite. So I'm gonna put 50 on Sean O'Malley, like I'm putting 50 on everyone else. But I would like to be able to bet more, and I kind of want to, just to ride or die, you know what I'm saying? Just to ride out with Sean O'Malley. Like, man, if he loses, we're all losing. Fuck it. I kind of want to bet the 100 on Sean O'Malley, and he's the underdog, so I think actually you guys talked me into it. We're going to actually bet $100 on Sean O'Malley. So we're riding and dying with Sean O'Malley. If he fucking loses, we lose, and he's the underdog. Fuck you, Tab Matt. If he wins, it's gonna be a great win, man, but it's gonna be a tough task, that's for sure. So with that being said, we're gonna have to change this over here real fast. We're gonna actually be going down $250. So we started off with 7, losing 250, which means we'll have $450 no matter what, if everything goes bad. So if we lose every single fight, we'll still have $450, which would be 50 under what we started with. But if we win, we'll be up. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. And good luck, man. We're gonna need it. We're gonna need it this week, family. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking D-O-double-G!